Hello there. Welcome. Come on in. Oh, why hello there, good looking. I was just craving something sweet, and here you come walking through the door. Are you exhausted? Well, because you've been running through my mind all morning long, I'll have you know. After all. That, and I've been counting down the hours until you walk into my shop looking all dolled up just for me, and eager to go out together. Might I say, all the imagination in the world couldn't rival the sight of the real thing before my eyes. I'm serious. Fine. I'll stop praising you. That's what expression is. Oh, is there anything you'd like to drink while I'm still on shift? Made with love, of course. All right. Let me guess. Your regular order? Oh, not today, Looking to spice things up, are we? I see. So, what can I do you for, sweetie pie? We have some very warm and comforting blends you can choose from. Huh? You want my opinion? To be honest with you, it's so chilly outside, I like something that warms me up from the inside out. And with this particular blend of toasted spices, you feel this gentle warmth, whether it's on ice or piping hot. So you can pick your preferred temperature and have it just as good regardless of the weather. Oh, that is, even if you like chai teas. Sorry about that. I got a bit too passionate about it. I'm drinking one on ice in the back right now as we speak. We have a new honey lavender milk tea, which is pretty good too. Among all the others we have. I heard the chamomile is nice. Oh, so that's what you want. Look at you, catching me by surprise when I least expect it. Well, because I never pegged you as the kind of person to enjoy such a thing. Would you also like something to snack on? Oh, I suppose you can have some food too. Huh, you look a little anxious. Are you worried about our dinner date? You know you don't have to do whatever you like. As long as I'm spending my time with you, we can be doing anything and I'll be satisfied. Over the moon, even. We could never have a dull moment together, sugar. So get that nonsense out of your head right now, you hear me? Oh, I just got lost in the thought. I apologize. Don't mind me. Here's something for you to nibble on while you wait for me to hop off the clock. And here you are. And now just let me grab my bag and clock out. The machine can be a pain. Huh? Oh, the snack? Those peanuts are just the bee's knees. There is this really sweet older gentleman that lives on the outskirts of town here, bless him, and he makes these in cream almonds. They really are a treat. I snagged you a bag of, I believe, the spiced peanuts. Those have such a nice kick to them. I couldn't eat too many though. I'm a bit weak when it comes to heat, so just a handful for me. And would you look at that? Right on the dot. Perfect. Just like you. Oh, I can't forget my drink. A good iced chai can't go to waste after all. And the next shift is Monday morning. Wow, I get the weekend off? That's rare. Must be my lucky day. Alrighty then, I'm all set. Again, I am just stunned by you. Just so precious. Are you ready, darling? Good. Now I know you tend to tremble. Mind if I hold your hand to keep it steady for you? Was that a bit too forward? It is a date after all, and you're just dazzling today. I'm like a bumblebee to a beautiful flower. I just want to get closer, grab onto you, and drink you all up, honey. Or perhaps I'm more like a child in a candy store, and you carry all my personal favorites. Something like... let's see. You're like a truffle. You have a hard exterior and may seem like something simple on the outside, but on the inside, you're soft and rich and filled with delicious flavor. So sweet and irresistible, and I'm very eager to get my hands on you. Hey, there we are. You relaxed some. Thank goodness. I was getting a bit worried. The tremble in your hands disappeared the moment they intertwined with mine. Now, I don't know if you had any specific plans, but I think we should do something different than usual. I feel a bit bad for stressing you out like this. I should have thought of something more enjoyable for the both of us from the start. So we should do something more relaxing and, well, more personal than just a dinner or a movie somewhere else. Besides, my idea is close by. Do you mind if I take the lead tonight, sweetheart? Perfect. Thank you, dear. All right. So, how confident are you in your cooking skills? How about following directions, then? Well, I was just thinking about how we always go out and about during our times together, or sitting in the coffee shop during lunch breaks. And I think it's about time we do something more relaxing. Maybe immersive together? My sister had decided to return overseas to her lover and work things out. I knew she would miss him too much in Cave eventually. So I have the apartment to myself again. Yeah. She finally put her pride aside and took the first step to fix their issues. She has quite a temper, that one. But her feelings of love and adoration are stronger than her pride, it seems. Thank goodness. Oh, but you probably remember that whole fiasco. No need to repeat it all again. I don't want to bore you. All I know is that I've gotten used to at least someone to come home to. And all of a sudden, I don't have anyone at all. Now that she's gone, I feel like maybe I'm getting lonely. Yeah, maybe that's it. I mean, don't get me wrong, my independence is nice, and I wouldn't trade it for anything. Nothing in this world can get me to move back home with my house. Lights out, just silence. To cooking meals for two, and you are my better half tonight, honey. My sister is one terrible chef. Bless her heart, but it's true. She would have burned the whole apartment down to its foundation. I swear she could set fire to water. So you can't possibly be any worse than that. Makes me excited for tonight's meal for two and to get a sneak peek of how lovely you'll look snuggled up on my couch in the evenings while you watch your favorite shows or play your favorite games. Sounds good to you? Wonderful. Thankfully, I live so close to the shop. Let's just run around this corner and... Aha! See the building in the corner above the brewery block? Right on the end there above the storefront. That's where I live. The apartment complex. See the balcony with twinkling lights strung along the railing? I like a little extra light at night when the bars are bustling. Plus, being on the third floor gives me a pretty sweet view of this tiny town. The price? It's actually relatively cheap for me. only because I work so much. I have money for days, but no time to enjoy it. Quite the conundrum, really. Thankfully, the landlord seems to like me a fair bit. Always make sure my space is secure. Even without a renter's agreement or a lease, I seem to always have this floor locked down as mine. I'm actually very lucky. I heard someone tried to buy me out of my space for a fair bit more than the asking price, and the owner decided to stick with me anyways. And if the downstairs neighbors give me any trouble, they all suddenly have to move out. So there's quite the rotation of tenants. Overall, I couldn't ask for a better place to be. Don't mind the creaking or the swaying. We are somewhat safe, I'm sure. Don't you worry your pretty little head about it. We haven't fallen yet, have we? And I've lived here for years. Though I do see it shake whenever birds land on it. My door is here on the right. Each floor has 2 apartments, but the other side of the 3rd floor is used for... well, I'm actually not too sure. All I know is that it's always empty, so I'm going to guess it's for storage or something? I try not to worry about those kinds of details. It's not really my business. Welcome to my lovely abode. Not much to look at. And that's because I'm hardly ever home, so... If you want to start filling it with things, though, I wouldn't mind. My couch is extremely comfortable, though. Anyone within 5 feet of that couch falls asleep when I turn my back on them. Oh, you can go ahead and look around at what I do have, though. No worries. Search away, I don't find it rude at all. I'll just have a peek at what I have in my... fills the empty space, I suppose. Oh, that picture. That's just an old family photo. First time when I was about 8 years old. We just moved here to this little mountain town, when before we had lived in the middle of nowhere. Even more so than here. So, when our father said there was the ocean only a short car ride away, oh boy were we ecstatic. Annoyed our father all the way to the beach, I'm sure. If you think I'm a lot now, just imagine how much trouble I was to handle as a child. You couldn't keep me quiet for a full minute without some duct tape. And even then, I was still a pain. Did I like my first time at the beach? It was certainly an experience. Not everything I'd hoped it would be, that's for sure. On the TV, the beach looked like such a sweet and innocent place. Soft sand, rippling waves, seashells galore. A treasure trove of imagination. No oceanside resort, no. I remember scouring the whole beach looking for seashells and found things like bottle caps and the occasional shard of broken glass. Not at all safe. The sand was a bit more coarse than I had imagined. And the waves. Oh. Those soft, playful waves from my mind were nothing but a dream when the real thing was in front of my eyes. Now, as an adult, however, little me had no sense of respect for the dangers of Mother Nature. At least, the foam rolling across my skin and the sand being pulled from under... well, yes. The ocean decided to teach me a lesson right then and there. The sea swept me up into her tendrils, and all I could do was struggle under the depths as the tides pulled me farther and farther from the beach, all in what seemed like the blink of an eye. The thunderous sounds still ring in my ears from time to time. Thankfully, when I had surfaced and remained afloat, I could make out what he would and let it take you out until it weakens and call out for help. Flail your arms and slowly make your way back to shore. Oh, anyways, so I took my tiny body and swam with all my might sideways until I couldn't anymore, and just floated on my back. I was hysterical. Crying like a My goodness, was the rest of the day emotional. Me blabber on about my childhood. I have something to ask you. I can't promise to make you just that, but I thought it would be fun to do something together. Like pasta. Have you made fresh pasta by hand before? Well, it's really easier than you would think. And by making it from scratch, it's not only fun, but it beats out the dried stuff by leaps. Perhaps I should have thought ahead before I decided to do this tonight. You don't mind, huh? Oh, that's well, while you were checking out the sights, as barren as they are, I decided to pull everything we might need out on the table. Oh, you look a little nervous again. Don't be. Cooking is fun when... Oh, come over here, silly. Don't be shy. Saddle up beside me. Perfect. Just like that. Just the right amount of elbow. So, let's make us some dinner, shall we, darling? Then afterward, I can have you as my dessert. What do we have here? It's the process that most people find too laborious to do, especially when one can just buy a dried package from the grocery store. But much like any good thing, a little hard work pays off, and nothing rivals food made with love. So, go wash your hands nice and clean because we are about to get our hands dirty. Yep, we're gonna be kneading this stuff by hand. I could pull out my stand mixer, but this seemed like so much more fun. I did pull out my pasta roller though, so it really won't be... While you wash those mitts, I'll just measure everything out. Oh, curious about my recipe, are we? That's the spirit, sugar. For good reason, too. What I have here, get away with just either or, but I like mine an even blend of the two. If I use all-purpose flour alone, I find the texture to be a bit too gummy and doughy. And on the other spectrum, using only semolina flour may taste much more authentic, but I find it has too much of bite to it. Not as soft as my preferences like. So my recipe is 50-50 to get the best of both worlds. A nice pasta with just the right amount of flavor and texture to suit any culinary needs. Clean hands. My favorite tools are the cups each of both all-purpose and semolina flour. And a pinch of salt, of course. Now get your fingers in here and blend the flour together until it's combined. That's perfect. Now I'm going to destroy your neat little mountain of flour by creating a hole right in the center of it. Oh, come on, don't make that face. It's more like a well now. And it's going to hold our eggs in olive oil. Go ahead and crack them right on in. For when I say pasta can have teeth. And there we go. We are going to need about 4 of them for this much flour, along with only a couple tablespoons of oil, maybe some water too. We can do 2. Hands, and in the machine, but too wet and it'll stick to everything. So we whisk those little eggs up until they're scrambled some, and then slowly start pulling in the flour surrounding it, like so. See what I mean when I said it creates a well of sorts? This method keeps the wet ingredients inside and lets you incorporate. You are totally getting the hang of it. Now, when it's mostly combined, you can just go ahead and really get your hands in there. Now, this is going to feel a bit rough and maybe a bit stiff. Much tougher than bread dough, if you know what that texture is like. So you really want to get into it. Get some elbow grease going and knead the dough with the heel of your palm until a smooth, supple dough is formed. It will take a bit to build the gluten properly, so when your hands get tired, let me know and I can take over, okay? Under kneading is a big... Well, I've been making pasta for a long time, honey, so it'll be no issue to pick up the slack. This is supposed to be fun after all, right? I don't want to be a slave driver. Oh, this recipe is a perfect base for a lot. I never really saw the point myself when I could just season the sauces. You are actually doing very nicely considering you're kneading it all wrong. Oh, it'll get the job done eventually, but there's a certain technique that you may... Oh, it will get done... It will get the job done eventually, but there's a certain technique that may help you out. Here, let me get my hands in there. See how I roll the dough closer to my body, and I place my palm on the top? I'm just going to press the heel of my hand down and push the dough away to stretch it out. Then, with my hands, roll it back into me and repeat. Like so. See? Not too hard, Now, with a couple of more minutes of kneading, the dough will be smooth, and when you push your finger softly against it, it should spring back for the most part. Become elastic, even. And when that happens, up a wonderful chew. It will be worth the wait for sure, I promise. And while it rests, we can make the shrimp. Or at least get it ready to cook up. Alrighty. Let me just test this out. Perfect. This is just what I was looking for. Here, you feel it for yourself. Isn't it smooth and supple? I love the feeling of a nice dough under my fingertips. Bowl with a damp towel and let our pasta ball take a nap. And while we do that, I'll wipe down this table and get it all cleaned up. Our pasta will go over here for now, out of the way. What to make? Let's see. I'm thinking... shrimp scampi? And we can cut the pasta into capellini. Nice and thin pasta. I have the attachment to cut such delicate strands, so I think it's perfect. Sound good to you? Alright. Well, usually I pick my shrimp whole up at the market, but these were already cut, peeled, and deveined, so I didn't have to do all the extra work. It's as if this date was meant to be. I wouldn't want you doing anything gross off the bat. But in the future, if you wouldn't mind. I don't have much. Just enough to make it simple, but delicious. I'll need shallots, garlic cloves. I have some cherry tomatoes. Oh! I have red and yellow ones. It's going to be so pretty. I have a bottle of Pinot Grigio I can open up as well. Would you like a glass for yourself? It's chilled and would be great to sip on while we spend our time together. Wonderful. The glassware is right above your head. If you could open up the bottle, I'll get the water boiling and we can get some prep work done. I'm not sure how comfortable you are around the heat, so I'll leave the rest of the cooking up to myself. With a little bit of aid every once in a while, of course, if you wouldn't mind. Thank you kindly, darling. Oh, it's just a cheap bottle of wine, so you can just twist it open. Say what you will. My taste in liquor is not exactly refined. At least not when it comes to wine. But it's cheap and I enjoy it just as much. Who says a bottle of wine has to cost an arm, If the flavors are what you enjoy, then it doesn't matter. Besides, you don't want to use crazy amazing wines for cooking anyways. Good wines should be enjoyed as they are. Oh, I'm just slicing up the shallots nice and thin. I'll throw them in the pan that has the olive oil heating up in it. I'll cook them down so they're just starting to color and add my minced garlic cloves. Just a couple. I don't want to overwhelm you with the flavor, as much as I love it myself. Oh, and a little bit of heat. You don't mind, right? I mean, you had those peanuts and they didn't bother you. I'll just add a touch of red pepper flakes. as well as your basic salt and pepper. You're making quite the face. I can't tell what you're thinking. I can usually read you so well. I wonder. Penny for your thoughts? Oop. I don't want to burn it. Let's turn the heat down just a bit. Can you hand me the bowl beside you? The ones with the cherry tomatoes? Why, thank you. You make such a great assistant. You should come over more often. I'm just tossing them right into the shallots and garlic. I'm hoping to have them burst and cook. And now to add the dry white wine to the mix. Ah, yes. I just love the sizzle of wine or stock hitting a ripping hot pan. And that should reduce relatively quickly. Now, normally I would have made a faux seafood stock with the shells and parts of the shrimp, but I don't have those, so... I can just use some leftover stock I made the other day. Let's look in the refrigerator here. Veggie stock. Ah! Not exactly what I would usually use, but it'll make do. I have confidence the fresh shrimp will hold its own regardless of the minor change. Oh, yeah. I stay pretty cleaned out food-wise for the most part. So my refrigerator is usually... Anyways. Now I add a little bit of this stock to the pan. Let's put this on low so I can whip out that pasta into lovely little strands of goodness. I think so. She feels done. Yes, I smooth and... Yes, feminine. Curvy and shapely. Beautiful. Plus, I'm getting pretty hungry with all these lovely aromas floating around my kitchen, aren't you? I thought so. Would you like to try the rolling yourself, or watch me do it first? Alright. I'll let you get away this time. So, I just dust the countertop with a little bit of that semolina flour like this. Just a dusting. Not too much to dry the pasta out, just to make sure it doesn't stick to the table or itself. We take a rolling pin and roll it just thin enough to get into the widest setting of the machine. Thankfully, I have an automatic roller. I used to have this hand crank pasta machine. It was a massive pain. I can't tell you how many times the handle would pop off mid-pass on my pasta sheets. It would either break it or make this really odd-looking crinkle in it. Just tear and fold it in half onto itself like so. After a couple passes, this sheet will be smooth and ready to go through a smaller setting. Over and over again, folding and dusting and passing until we make it down to the smallest setting. At least for this type of dish. A rounded spaghetti, flat sheets for ravioli. The possibilities are endless with the right tools and mindset. And with this last pass, we have exactly what we're looking for. See? Nice and thin. Like angel hair. Let's drop these guys in the boiling water and get our shrimp seared up. And I think we can eat after that. How is that wine, sugar? Not too terrible after the first couple sips, yeah? I didn't sear on them. We add some fresh basil and capers to the sauce. These little guys only need a minute or two on each side. I don't want to give you overcooked seafood. What? Because seafood is atrocious when it's overcooked. It becomes rubbery and dry. You don't want shrimp rubber bullets, do you? I know you're too kind and would eat it anyways. You absolute treasure, you. Oh, you can flip them if you like. I'm just going to get some lemon juice and zest on them, and in the sauce. Let's check this stuff out. Hot. Hot. And the pasta is done al dente, just as all pasta should be. So I'll just plate these up by combining them with that lovely sauce we have at the ready. We can just put them in this pan, toss them around, and spinning them in these pretty little nests on the plate. All the capellini is coated evenly in the sauce. There's lots of shallots and vibrant tomatoes through every bite. Now to add the way to watch over them, darling. Now, all this needs is a little Parmesan, a sprinkle of lemon zest, a glass of wine, and we have a delicious... Hopefully that wasn't too boring for you. No? Adults. Or we could snag our plates, scurry off to the couch, and watch a movie together while stuffing our faces. Very classy, I know. You're quick. Fine, I'll share my favorite spot with you. Can you tell why I like the edge there? It's because you can see the night sky from this angle. See? Just look. The soft glow from the lights of the town below, the faint flickering of white from the balcony, and past the sliding door is just the most lovely view of the stars above, in the middle of the sky. Almost like a painting or a photo. Too beautiful to be real life, and yet it is. Yes, I am very attracted to pretty things. That's why I really wish you would sometimes, though. I know I flirt with you a lot. I've been getting a little better at not overdoing the whole cheese ball factor. But the emotions behind those silly words are all the same. Every single one. You're making quite the face. So, how is it? Ju foods made from scratch are the best. They're quite good eats, if I do say so myself. The pasta has just the right amount of bite to it, even as thin as each strand is. The sauce clings to the surface of the noodles just right, not coating or overpowering them. The cherry tomatoes bring on such a nice sweet flavor and added moisture. Not that the sauce is lacking in any way. I told you the quality of wine doesn't really make a huge difference in the grand scheme of flavors, and... you're almost done already? I should probably stop chattering and eat already. Oh, the remote is to your right. Go ahead and pick whatever shows or movies. Fine with whatever you want to watch. Like I said, as long as we're together, it really doesn't matter what we do. You may even strike a new interest for me. So the remote is all yours. Oh, you want to snuggle up with a blanket? Well, I'm not going to refuse you. You seem... There it is. Nice and plushy, right? I love curling up with it at night and falling asleep gazing at the lights outside the window. I'll just take your empty plate from you and toss it in the sink, and you can get yourself more comfortable. We can just get everything soaking. I can do the dishes tomorrow morning instead. And the bottle's almost empty. Well, a little more wine won't hurt anything. Now let's see. I knew you'd look good curled up on my couch. Did my food make you... Means we did a fantastic job together. Plus, we can snuggle up and drift to sleep. Nice and easy. Falling asleep. Go ahead and take a power nap. I'll be here when you wake. That's a promise. Who knows? I may very well drift off with you. I'm glad you feel the same. Well, my bleary-eyed darling. Sleep well.